The Raiders are favored by 1.5. A team that just fired their coach mid-season, right before the trade deadline. Then they benched their quarterback, their big top free agent, and they bench him before week 9.
Because the word motherfucker is a noun. It describes a person, place, or thing.
It's the motherfucking pie. Crew members. What up, y'all? What's up? It's your boy, Beanie Man, a.k.a. Mr. Headquarters.
Mr. Headquarters taught me.
You already know, man. Back at it once again for motherfucking picks. Week 9 of the NFL season. What's up, y'all, man? Look, EJ the DJ is not with us this week. But yeah, man, make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this, such as sports-related topics, such as NFL, NBA. We're going to be talking NBA later on in the week. And also our main show, motherfucking podcast, which is a culture podcast about black culture. Things going on in black culture. News, current events, highlights, lowlights, and everything in between. With that being said, make sure y'all subscribe. We are on YouTube and all audio podcast platforms. All right. But next up, we talking week 9 of the NFL season. First up, we have Thursday night football. Thursday night football, we have the 3-4 Tennessee Titans taking on the 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are favored by 3, -3. I think the over-under is 37.5 points, if I'm correct. Definitely going on the over. I can say that off top right now. Over on the points. I ain't waiting to say that part. Over on the points, but I'll tell you why. Stay tuned, and I'm going to tell you why. But first up, like I said, Tennessee is going into Pittsburgh tonight. And I'm recording this on a Thursday, so I'm going to get this up as fast as I can for y'all. But anyway, Tennessee, Will Levis, in the second start of the season, looked pretty good last week. They looked pretty good last week. Can't lie. They looked good last week. But yeah, he looked good last week. They took care of business, then winning their game last week, Tennessee. Pittsburgh lost in week 8. And we can kind of talk about that a little quickly. And as I'm pulling it up right now, Will Levis threw 4 touchdowns, no picks. Now, Tennessee here, Ryan Tannehill went down, and it looked like the season might be done. I mean, putting the game in the hands of both quarterbacks. Mike Vrabel decided to go with a 2-quarterback setup with Levis being the main starter and Malik Willis being the kind of like the scat back or the wildcat quarterback, and kind of like college. But yeah, Tennessee took care of Atlanta last week and 28-23. And the Steelers didn't know if we was going to get Kenny Pickens in this game tonight, but he has been clear as of tonight that he will play in this game. So the Steelers will get their quarterback. So they got all their offensive power running for them. So Kenny Pickett will be playing. Both receiving core is going to be major for both teams to win this game. And I'm assuming because they think that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and Tennessee's offense are not the best in the league. But I feel like the Titans' offense might be a little bit rejuvenated with a quarterback like Will Levis because of the fact that he can just stretch the field with his with the strong arm strength that he has. So that helps him in his regard. So I think that helps them keep a balanced passing attack for them. And they already got Derrick Henry at running back. On the other side, you got Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett and George Pivens at receiver. I mean, and DeAndre Hopkins on the Titans side. Look, it's almost damn near an even matchup in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh has a better defense. You can argue that Tennessee might have a slightly better offense, only slightly. So I think this is a really good matchup for Thursday Night Football. I actually am interested in watching this game tonight, so I might get a chance to watch that. We'll see what happens. But I think this would be a very good game to watch and even bet on. Definitely take the money on the over on the points. Both teams seem to be able to score pretty decently. Now, like I said, it is a rookie quarterback in Will Levis, so I would still expect Mike Vrabel and company to be more hesitant a little bit, but they allow them to sling the ball a little bit. So I don't know. I think they definitely gonna take some chances down the field with Will Levis. So I think there will be some chances at big plays. I think there might be a pick or two in this game on Will Levis' side with this defense of Pittsburgh, and I just don't see Tennessee winning this game though. I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I think that the Steelers aren't an untouchable team to beat. I think they're very beatable. I mean, they shown that last week. They shown that last week. Like I said before, when they lost to Jacksonville last week, 20-10. And I mean, obviously, I was wrong. I gotta tell EJ that I was wrong about the Jaguars, and we'll talk about that later on in the episode. But I was wrong about Jacksonville. Okay, so Jacksonville is legit. Jacksonville is legit. I will admit that Jacksonville is legit. I think that being able to I think Jacksonville is legit, and also being able to admit that Pittsburgh is not an elite team. So I don't see them beating too many elite teams. Tennessee is also not elite yet. I think they got a lot of key pieces that can make them legit. Solidifying the quarterback position is one of them things that can make them legit if Will Levis is that dude. There's a lot of hype going around Will Levis, obviously, and I understand that. I think, though, the Steelers come out and win this game still. I think the Steelers win this game. Both of these teams have been roller coaster teams all year, up and down. But I think if Kenny Pickett is healthy and he's ready to go, I like Kenny Pickett over Will Levis Titans in this game. I think Will Levis will have a much more down-to-earth game. He probably even throw a pick or two in this game. I'm calling the Steelers to win this game. Steelers will win this game 28-23 Steelers. 28-23 Steelers, and they cover. By the way, both teams are 4-3 against the spread. So That's also out there to be mentioned. But I'm calling the Steelers to win this game, take this game, and handle business. Next up, the Frankfurt, Germany game. The first regular season game in Frankfurt, Germany between our motherfucking game of the week, number one of this week, because we got 3 big games this week. The Miami Dolphins, the 6-2 Miami Dolphins against the 6-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Tua Tagovailoa versus Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, maybe. He might play. He practiced this week. Durham Smith, just to name a few players between both sides. Jalen Ramsey, I think, should be playing in this game as well for Miami. This is a big game. This is a motherfucking big game. I'm excited for this game. I'm waking up early to watch this game. Me and my son gonna wake up and watch this game. We're watching this game. I like Kansas City in this game. I like Kansas City. The over-under is 50.5. The Chiefs are favored by 2. The Chiefs are favored by 2 on a neutral site. I ain't gonna lie. I like Miami in this game. I like Miami. I really like Miami in this game. Tyreek Hill talking about we gonna kick their ass. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like to see shit talking like that during the week. I think they should highlight that even more and more instead of doing these Taylor Swift updates. But I would love to see more trash talking before, good trash talking between both sides, and then seeing who could back it up on Sunday. So I like this game. This might be my favorite game of the week out of the 3 big games that's coming up this week. I like Miami though. I know EJ gonna be like, what the fuck? You got Miami in this game? Miami. Trust me, I got Miami in this game. But yeah. No major injuries for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are pretty much healthy for this game. Now obviously Miami has a lot of injury history. Like I said, Teron Armstead may be playing this game. Jalen Ramsey has a knee injury. Xavier Howard had an injury of himself. I think it was limited in practice all week. I think Braxton Berrios is not playing. So yeah, there's a lot of things to be looking forward to for this game, but I still like Miami. I think if Miami was fully healthy, I think Miami might win this game outright. But as far as the points, I say take the points. Take the points. It's a big risk, but take the points. But I'm taking Miami in the upset. I think this game moves closer to a pick 'em, closer to kickoff. But I like Miami in this game. I think Kansas City is only favored here because of the fact that they're a proverbial home team. But I don't see them being many Kansas City Chiefs fans in the stadium overwhelming other Dolphins fans. I mean, I know they all travel, but I still like Miami to win this game. I'm calling it 30-20, 30-24 Miami. 30-24 Miami. And take the points. All right, that's it for that game. All right. Next up, we got the 4-4 Minnesota Vikings against the 4-4 Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 4. Over under is 37. Both teams are evenly matched here. The Falcons are tied for first in the NFC South, while the Vikings are second in the NFC North, behind the Detroit Lions. So this is another good game in my opinion. I like this game. This should be a good game for the most part. I know there's a lot of injuries for this game for both teams. Both teams are working on their second quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is out for the year. Desmond Ridder is dealing with concussion. So both starting quarterbacks are out. But there's still a decent team behind both of these teams. I think Minnesota overall is a better team on paper. I'm surprised that Atlanta is favored here. But you do have Jaron Hall, who's getting the start for Minnesota, a rookie quarterback, and you're getting Taylor Heineke to be starting for the Atlanta Falcons. So this is an interesting situation here. So I'm expecting that. I don't know. This is a good game. I mean, because injury wise, we talked about how Kirk Cousins is out of this game, right? And they got some other key injuries, mainly to their defense, and receiving core is also kind of banged up too. So I think they're going to be a game time decision for some of their players. If I remember right, KJ Osborne has a chest injury, and Brandon Powell got a shoulder injury. So they're going to be out for a little while. They potentially might be out for this game. So yeah, I can see why Atlanta's favored here. Minnesota's banged up everywhere. So yeah, I can understand that. I think this actually might not end up being a good game as much as I thought it might be, but I like Atlanta in this game. I think Atlanta should go ahead and win this game. As a Saints fan, I hope they don't win, but looking at it on paper, I'm thinking, and based off of everything else, we don't know nothing about Jaron Hall as a pro. I've seen enough of Taylor Heineke. I've seen what he's done with the Commanders and stuff like that a couple of years ago. He has kind of that Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of vibe about him. He can get hot during certain times, but he's just not consistent. And he can win your games. He'll have a comeback game, and then he might throw 3 fucking picks and 2 pick sixes on top of that. So you just don't know what kind of player you're getting with Taylor Heineke. He's kind of like Kirk Cousins. But I would expect Minnesota to really, really rely on Madison, the running back, to really take on the load, to try to do something to take off that pressure off of Jaron Hall. I would assume that would be the game plan. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking Atlanta's going to win this game. I think Atlanta's going to win this game. I'm calling Atlanta to win this game. 37.5 is the over under. I wouldn't touch that. But I will say I think Atlanta wins this game 17-14 Atlanta. All right. Next up, you got the 1-7 Arizona Cardinals against the 4-3 Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored by 8. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray listed for practice this week on the injury report as a full participant on Wednesday, but they don't have yet confirmed if he's a part of the main active roster or if he's still going to be on the PUP list. So it's kind of weird. So you don't know whether or not he's going to most likely he's not going to play, but it's unlikely that he'll be added to the roster. So they just got to make that decision, which is a weird situation with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. We'll see if he plays at all this season, but I'm expecting that he probably will play next week. is the guess that I'm going to say. On the other spectrum, you got the Browns, who also had their quarterback return this week in Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson was getting a lot of slack this past week, especially getting a lot of, which I thought was kind of funny, but he was getting a lot of criticism about him getting back to the team and returning from injury from I think it was Brady Quinn, former Browns quarterback. And he does sports media nowadays, and Brady Quinn was really getting into him. So pretty much they were trying to question his work ethic to get back and be able to play and play through injury potentially as well. It's always a tricky thing because some athletes are pretty split on how to handle that situation because you can't tell someone's pain threshold, especially with athletes. Some fake them, some don't. So it's a weird situation. The Browns are sitting in a good position because they're still fighting for the playoffs. They're 4-4, so it's kind of like a reset. And if you can get Deshaun Watson playing really good football again, back to when he was in Houston, Cleveland really has a chance to make some noise. They have a lot of good things I like about them defensively. They have a lot of nice weapons on offense. So they just got to put a lot of this stuff together and really contend. Because in my opinion, I feel like the AFC North is kind of up for grabs. If the Ravens got their issues, their slight issues, but they're still a good team. And the Steelers are still a good team. So, this division is not as weak as some people might have thought it might have been going into the season. So, with the Browns playing well, you got to keep that momentum going and have your starting quarterback. So, listed for the week, Arizona has Clayton Tune. Yeah, they have Clayton Tune listed as the starting quarterback for this week. So, most likely Clayton Tune is going to be the starter, as well as Deshaun Watson is scheduled to penciled in to be the starter for Cleveland. So I think look forward to that. I'm thinking Deshaun Watson is going to have a big game this week, an approved game against a lower tier team that they should beat. They should take care of business and get to 5-4 and take care of Arizona, who has no chance of making the playoffs at this point. No chance. So, with that being said, I like Cleveland in this game. I like Cleveland to win this game. 24-17. Cleveland should take care of business at home. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 3-5 on the road to Green Bay to face the disappointing Green Bay Packers. 2-5 Green Bay Packers. The Packers are actually favored by 3, though. I don't know why the fuck they're favored for this game. This line makes no sense to me. In my opinion, if you want to look at, game-to-game basis, the Rams have played a better slate of games. When they've won their games, they just look way better. The Packers have, in my opinion, should be 1-6 at this point. They should be 1-6, especially with the performance that they put out there against the Saints, that they should have lost that game in week 2. In week 3. So, but anyway, I believe that the Rams are a better team here. The over-under is 38.5. Don't expect much out of the Jordan Love project right now. They've been looking below average as an offense. There's nothing about this team that I really, really like about their offense. Aaron Jones has been questionable this week as far as injuries. And I think Jair Alexander at cornerback has been limited in practice this week as well. So They got some injuries there. On the Rams side, you got Matt Stafford, who's been questionable, and also rookie receiver Puka Nakua, who's been leading them in receiving and receiving yards, receptions and receiving yards. And I think that's a big injury for them. But I still think the Rams are a better team. I think the Packers just haven't been good since the beginning of the season. Just haven't been good. I'm expecting the Rams to get back to 4-5. I'm not expecting much out of this game. It's not a game I would look forward to even looking at or seeing, other than to see maybe Puka Nakua, to see, I never watched him really game in and out just yet. So I wanted to probably check out that game only probably for that factor. And to kind of take a look at Jordan Love again. But other than that, that's it. I think the Rams should win this game easily and handily. I'm calling it 20-10. Rams take care of business and go for the under. Rams 20-10. All right. Next up, another bad bumbo game. Another bumbo. We have the New England Patriots. Actually, we have the 3-5 Washington Commanders going on the road to face the 2-6 New England Patriots, who are favored by 3. The Patriots are favored by 3 with an over-under of 41. So another game I'm not really looking forward to. You got Sam Howell leading the pack again for the Commanders. And on the other side, you got Mac Jones for the Patriots, who've shown a little bit of life lately. As far as winning their one of their games recently. They bought themselves another week. They're 2-6. This is embarrassing Patriot football. They're the worst team in the AFC, record-wise. They just don't look good. And I am going to say I'm picking Washington early here. I have no reason to think that Washington cannot win this game. I think Washington wins this game easily. I think Washington take care of Matt Jones. The only thing that kind of makes me concerned is Sam Howell. You just don't know what version you're going to get of him. He just not that much to go by. The offense has been middle of the road. It's been better than the Patriots, but it's still been middle of the road. I just don't like this offense. I just don't like this team. I said that in the beginning of the year. I think this team is a shitload of penalties. On top of that, it's just not a good team. Not a good team. Not a lot of key players on offense that's gonna really, scare anybody. But same thing on the Patriots. It's just a boring ass game. So I'm picking the Commanders to win this game 17-10 Commanders on the road. All right. Next up, we got the 5-2 Seattle Seahawks taking on the 6-2 Baltimore Ravens at home, who are favored by 6. I was a little shocked that they was almost favored by 7. But that shows you how much Super Bowl aspirations that are riding on the season for the Ravens. Everybody looks pretty much healthy this week, which is surprising to be able to say for the Ravens. But on the Seattle Seahawks side, they are banged up on the receiver end. You still got everybody else relatively healthy for the most part. Some players was held out for rest this week. The over-under here is 44. Interesting enough. I think I might like the under on that one, but I think this is a good game here. Geno Smith has been playing not as good as last year. He's been just, being a good game manager. They also made a trade during the week. The Seahawks traded for defensive tackle Leonard Williams from the New York Jets, which I thought was a damn good move. Damn good move. I'm assuming that he would be playing in this game, and that's the Giants. Meant to say New York Giants, not the Jets. But Pete Carroll is a defensive-minded coach, so that should fit well with his scheme. I kind of like Seattle in this game. I really do. I still have high expectations for Baltimore this year. I expect them to be in the Super Bowl this year. But I think Seattle wins this game. Seattle wins this game 2019 Seattle. They edge out Baltimore. That is dependent on if Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf can play. Like I said, they are questionable for this week. They boast up that defense. Geno Smith has been playing average this week, but I expect Baltimore to fall here. I think it's just a bad matchup. I'm calling Seattle to upset this victory here. That -6 really jumps out at me, but I like Seattle in this game. I feel like Seattle's receiving core can really give Baltimore problems. But like I said, they are banged up a little bit. But I'm picking Seattle. I'm picking Seattle 20-19. All right. Next up, we have the 3-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the 3-4 Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are favored here by 3. The over-under is 40. I like the over for this game. The Texans, Bucks, CJ Stroud, Baker Mayfield, the battle to get back to mediocrity at 4-4. One team potentially might miss the playoffs because of this game. And you also have Desmond Pierce at running back and Robert Woods at receiver for the Texans, who are most likely looking like they're not gonna make this game. Especially Robert Woods looks like he's not gonna make this game. He's listed as doubtful. And Pierce is listed as questionable. Now for Tampa Bay, they have pretty much healthy everybody on their side. Tampa Bay has been looking a little raggedy the last couple of weeks. They haven't been playing so great. And same thing can be said for Houston. They kind of hitting the snag a little bit here and there. CJ Stroud's kind of slowed down a little bit from the beginning of the season. Both of these teams kind of sitting where they kind of belong. They're a middle of the pack. The Bucks fighting for the NFC South. They still have a lot of chance at being the number 1 seed. As far as Houston, it's looking like Jacksonville's running away with that division. But obviously, if they win this game and then win their next matchup against Jacksonville later down the line, who knows? So Houston is definitely very much in the division hunt to win that. But with that being said, I like Houston here. I think Houston's the hungrier team. I think Tampa Bay has been playing kind of off a little bit. I do think Tampa Bay has a lot of talent. I do think they have a lot of talent, but I think the play of CJ Stroud can really, really hurt their team. Now, they do have the linebackers to keep up with his speed, so don't get it twisted. And Tampa Bay's defense is not no slouch, and neither is their offense. But just lately, they just don't look right. Lately, they just don't look right, and I understand why Houston is favored here. I like Houston at home to win this game. Close game. 21-17, Houston. Don't take the points. All right. Next up, you got the 3-5 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 1-6 Carolina Panthers. The worst team in the NFC, worst team in the NFL. Both of these teams don't have much to play for here. The Panthers definitely don't. The Colts just want to fight to potentially stay in the hunt. If they win this game, they'll get them back to 4-5, closer to 500. So who knows what might happen in that division if things go a little bit differently further down the line. They got a few injuries here and there for the Colts. Zaire Franklin, their middle linebacker, their best tackler, leading tackler in the league at one point. He was limited this week with a knee injury. And they also have Josh Downs, the receiver, who are both questionable for this game. Gardner Minshew obviously is still quarterbacking for this game. And on the other side, you got the Panthers with Bryce Young, who is starting this game, with DJ Clark, who is questionable for this game on their side, who potentially might miss this game. I don't expect a lot from these teams. Carolina is obviously the worst, the weaker of the two teams. And Gardner Minshew definitely has a chance to really tear up this Carolina defense. This defense is bad. Both teams' defense ain't that great. Let's be honest. Now, they have a few bright spots on both sides. Like I said, Zaire Franklin might not even play. It's questionable. But I do like Gardner Minshew in this game. They should take care of business. Bryce Young has not looked good for the most part. He's still learning. He's a rookie. So I think this is a good game for him to start against, though, because not a good team. Get your reps in. Get your confidence up. Keep the game plan simple. Use his strengths. Roll them out. Play action. Running the ball. Make sure y'all just get him some protection, man. Fuck. Get him some protection in Carolina. Jesus. But I think this game should be good. But I do think the Colts are a better team. They're favored by 3. Carolina is the underdog in this game at home. So I think the Colts should win this game and will win this game 24-17. Colts takes this game. All right. Next up, we got the New York Giants, the 2-6 New York Giants against the 3-5 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are somehow favored. How the fuck do you have them favored in this game? How? They just fired their coach in Josh McDaniels, which is a plus. The Raiders are favored by 1.5. A team that just fired their coach mid-season, right before the trade deadline. Then they benched their coach, their quarterback, their big top free agent, and they bench him before week 9. 2 months of the season, the first 2 months of the season, and they're already ready to call it a season. Now I get it. The Raiders are 3-5. But it's not like they're completely out of the AFC. Now the AFC has the better amount of teams. It ain't gonna be easy. But benching Garoppolo, I don't think was the right decision. Firing Josh McDaniels was the right decision. But I think this is just a simple, and they fired the GM. I can't forget about that part too. The Raiders are just, damn, it's got to be tough to be a Raiders fan right now. It got to be tough for the Raider Nation. Got to be. You just had a situation when y'all just fired John Gruden 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago. A year and a half ago. Then you replace him with a retread coach in Josh McDaniels, who led Denver and was fired after one season. So this is back-to-back fired early into your tenures. It was that bad. I cannot imagine this dude getting another chance at head coach. I just can't. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If he gets hired again, that'll be a shame. That'll be a shame. But that's my take on it. Saquon Barkley is questionable for this game, as is Wendell Robinson at receiver. So they are banged up. Daniel Jones should have been benched, in my opinion. But this is just surprising to hear. Surprising to hear. I wouldn't have fired Josh McDaniels midseason, but they've had so much issues this year. I can understand it. You've also had your star defensive lineman get released and admitted to a hospital for mental evaluations, and it's just been a rough season. It's the fact that they even won 3 games already is enough going on. I mean, they need to fire the ownership, because it starts at the top. You hired all of these guys to go through the John Gruden situation, fuck that up after giving him a 10-year contract. Then you fuck it up again with his replacement a year and a half at, man, look. Aiden O'Connell is getting the start here at quarterback with Jimmy Garoppolo being being benched. So Aiden O'Connell is now the quarterback starting. I think this is his 2nd year in the league, a 3rd year, something like that. So we'll see. I don't think he's that great, but we'll see what happens. They think this is a start in the next direction, so we'll see what happens with this. Aiden O'Connell is getting the start here. The quarterback play this year in the league has been abominable. It's been terrible this season. It's terrible. Terrible. But anyway, I'm picking the Giants to win this game. 20-7 Giants over the Raiders. I think this is going to be a train wreck. The only thing that's a plus about this, is Antonio Pierce, former linebacker of the New York Giants, is now the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. He seems to be a great motivator. I don't know about his X's and O's, but as far as an innovator, a leader, as far as a boisterous leader, he is a vocal leader. I think he can lead other men. Is he a good leader? I don't know. Is he a motivator? I think he's definitely a motivator. He can talk his ass off. If you're a Raider fan, you're kind of excited a little bit about the coaching change. But everything else surrounding around that, fucking Raiders, man. God damn, man. I'm still picking the Giants, though. 20-7. 20-7. 20-7. All right, next up, the other game of the week, the motherfucking game of the week. The third game, the first one was the Dolphins and Chiefs. The second one, I think we forgot to mention, the Seahawks and Rams. 5-2 Seahawks, 6-2 Rams. Ravens. Seahawks, Ravens. And now this game, the 5-2 Cowboys against the 7-1 Eagles, who are favored by 3. The Eagles are favored by 3 in this game. The over-under is 46.5. There's no really main notable injuries for both sides. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. This should be a good game. This will prove so far who is the better team in the division. It won't change much who's the leader. The Eagles, despite even if they lose this game, will still be the leader of the division. But I still think Philly has not much to lose in this game. They can play around a little bit. They can disguise some things. They can call a few plays they haven't done so far before yet in the season against Dallas and really get innovative in this game. I think Philly should come out swinging, come out and being creative in this game, keeping Dallas on their toes. I think Philly has a better offense. I think that Philly's a better overall team. One of the best teams in the league, potentially a Super Bowl contender. I think Dallas is slightly lower tier. With Tony Pollard being the main running back, obviously we talked about Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and and the defense that they got. I like their defense more than their offense. But with that being said, I'm picking Philly because I think Philly is just an overall better team. Top to bottom. A.J. Brown at receiver. Jalen Hurts looking like an MVP. They just look that good. I like Philly in this game. I'm calling Philly to win this game 28-24. Philly over with the points and the spread. Philly wins this game at home. Next up, we have the 5-3 Buffalo Bills taking on the 4-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Finally, the Bengals have waken up. They're favored by 2.5, as they should. They looked great last week. Buffalo won last week, but not so great looking while doing it. The over-under is 50. I'm taking the under on that off top. But I think that this should be a good game. There's not a lot of notable injuries for either one of these teams. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon is the one of the notable names for Cincinnati that is questionable for this game. So this should be a good game. Like I said before last week, the Bengals have been putting things together finally after starting off really, really slow. I think they started off at like 1-3 or something like that. And now they're 4-3. They put a couple of these games together now, and they're kind of back in the mix of things where they should be, contending for the AFC North and getting themselves back potentially to the Super Bowl. So I like this game. I think Buffalo, I've been calling it. I've been telling EJ, Josh Allen is a fraud. He's a fraud, man. He's a fraud. He's good, but he's not that good. He's overrated a little bit. A little overrated. It might be a little bit of the Madden curse too. I don't know. We'll see. He is on the cover of Madden this year. I just don't believe in this team, man. And they're just overrated to me. Buffalo has always been overrated. This version of Buffalo I'm talking about. I just don't like their look. Josh Allen just throws picks or fumbles the ball and just the most worst timing. And Cincinnati's on a roll right now. I'm picking Cincinnati. I'm picking Cincinnati to win this game. I'm calling Cincinnati to win 27-24. 27-24 Cincinnati. I would not bet on the points because I'm just not so sure. But I'm still sticking with my score, 27-24. Bengals takes this game. The Bills lose again. All right. Next up, Monday Night Football. The 3-4 Los Angeles Chargers, a.k.a. the Clippers, taking on the 4-3 New York Jets. But for some reason, the Jets are underdogs. The Chargers are favored by 3.5. The Chargers are 3.5 favorites on the road. Not many road teams are favored this week. I think only maybe like 2 or 3 teams are favored this week on the road. So I'm calling still, though. I'm still calling. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So before we get into that, as far as notable injuries, Joshua Palmer, the receiver for the Chargers, is questionable for this game. No other real notable injuries to talk about for this game, or that's listed. Probably going to come out later in the week, probably on Saturday or Sunday. But this should be a good matchup. Breece Hall is a dog at running back, coming back from injury from last year. That dude is a beast. If you have him in fantasy football, he's a beast. Zach Wilson is up and down. He's just up and down. Hopefully he can put this shit together. And I think having Aaron Rodgers there to help coach him along, so to speak, because they're allegedly good friends. The Chargers, which I think is ironic, because when Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay, he said he didn't want to mentor Jordan Love. But now all of a sudden he goes to New York. He's all buddy, cool, best buds with Zach Wilson. I don't know. Just saying. But anyway, EJ's favorite quarterback from the Chargers, Justin Herbert, a high statistical version of Josh Allen, kind of Josh Allen-ish. Great arm, not always that accurate, in my opinion. Kind of turns the ball over in the worst time. His timing, you know what I'm saying? It's not about what he does all the time. It's about the timing of when he makes these mistakes. So I think it is a bit of a surprise that the Chargers are favored in this game, but I understand it because they had the high-powered offense, but the Jets got a high-powered defense. I'm going to always take the defense and the home team against a high-powered offense. I'm taking the Jets to barely win this game. Zach Wilson really makes me nervous. I would never bet this game. I would never tell anyone to bet this game. This is a stay-away bet game. But for this purposes, though, I'm still picking the Jets to win this game. The Jets should win. The Jets should win this game. And I'm calling it 21-20 Jets. All right. Finally, the 2-6 Chicago Bears taking on the 4-4 New Orleans Saints, who are 8.5 favorites, with Tyson Bagent taking the start for Chicago. Derek Carr obviously being the starter for the Saints, with only having a few notable injury reports on them. Of note, James Hurst, Ryan Ramczyk was out for rest. Michael Thomas for rest. Jimmy Graham for rest. Justin Fields is questionable this week. They don't expect him to play, though, and there's a lot of speculation about him being pulled. A lot of questions in general. Now, this is an interesting game. Now, if the Bears could potentially pull this game out and Bagent looks actually good, then that might be some warning signs for Justin Fields. I've said this in the past. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I think he's a good athlete. I don't think he's a good quarterback. But I think he's more like a Taysom Hill type of player, or potentially could be. But I understand it. They put a lot of investment into this player at quarterback, so I get it. The Bears are trying to make sure that they exhaust all things and make sure that they're giving him everything that he needs. He still has an explosive receiver in DJ Moore. But that's about it. He ain't really got nothing else around him. So it's not like they put a lot of good weapons around him to help kind of soften the blow. Now for the Saints, if you've been following the Saints, you know what's up with them. The offensive play calling has been trash. Lately, it's been okay. They won last week. Probably the best game that the best game that Derek Carr has played under the Saints. Probably his best game so far. Well, actually, no, it was his best game because even the game against the Patriots wasn't like a great game. It was just an overall good team game. Kamara, Olave, Mike Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson is back. This offense should be flourishing. There should be a lot of points being put up in this game. Chicago's defense is not good. It's not. The Saints' pass rush has not been consistent. So we'll see what happens here. I'm thinking that the Saints should and will win this game. I'm calling it as a motherfucking lock. A motherfucking lock. The Saints take care of business this week. They move into 5-4. It's kind of bittersweet as a Saints fan because the Saints should win and will win this Sunday, but that helps Dennis Allen's case to stay as the coach. I will say this, and as well as Pete Carmichael, I will say this. I understand why the Saints keep Dennis Allen overall, because on one side, Dennis Allen is a damn good defensive coach. The things that he has done for this team defensively, whether he's the defensive coordinator or whether he's the head coach, he handles business on the defensive side. You cannot argue that shit. But the biggest thing that comes into question for him is his offensive decision-making as far as who's going to be the play caller. Now, obviously, he was given Pete Carmichael because of he was already tenured in here since Sean Payton. And I get that. So he hasn't had the chance to choose his offensive coordinator. So if things go sour with Pete Carmichael, you best believe he'll have his guy in. And that guy, that whoever he has in, is going to be on the hot seat early to produce, especially if they have a lot of good high-end players like they do now. So with that being said, I'm calling the Saints to win this game. The Saints and the Who Dat Nation should be celebrating come Monday after Sunday is over with. The Saints should be celebrating a 30-14 victory this weekend. Saints over the Bears, 30-14. Book it. Now, with that being said, that's all the time I got for this week. Week 9 of the NFL season 2023. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more updates, shit talking, basketball news, football news, and our main show, the motherfucking podcast, in regards to the culture. We speak Black culture from a pop perspective, news, current events from the city of New Orleans, only how we do it, such as myself, Beanie Man, a.k.a. Mr. Headquarters.
Mr. Headquarters taught me.
Along with my dog who could not be here today, EJ, the motherfucking DJ.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all check in with us on all audio platforms such as Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher Radio, and Apple Podcasts. And on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up. Leave us a voice message. The link will be down below in the comment section. Comment your picks on each and every game. Sound off for your team. With that being said, you already know what it is. Motherfucking picks. Week 9. I'm Mr. Headquarters. You already know what it is. It's the motherfucking pie.